All right, another cue here with Blue-Black Mill. We would like to play first, as a matter of fact, and I'll keep it. I like turn 1 Hedron Crab, turn 2 Mesmeric Orb with 2 fetches in hand even. Crypt Incursion if he's on aggro. Don't think we want to draw any more lands, but this hand seems perfectly reasonable. All right. I wonder what it feels like to have Hedron Crab played against you on turn 1 now. You know, it used to be if someone played Hedron Crab on turn 1, you'd be like, sweet, I win this round. Unless you're, one of the decks where it just happened to have a terrible matchup. But now someone plays Hedron Crab, and you're like, oh god, this deck. Because it's a real thing. All right, looks like our opponent's on some kind of mana dork deck, probably. He doesn't have a dork. I got to play around the Dryad Arbor, so I'm not going to attack. I want to send a message by attacking, but if he has a Dryad Arbor and hits us for 1, we get punished, and that feels bad. But go ahead and get this fetch in. I guess for what it's... Alright. I'd like to always yield. For what it's worth, you could target yourself with Hedron Crab to hit Delirium if, say, you had 2 Manic Scribes out or something like that. You'd want to, because, that land, if giving yourself Delirium would represent hitting them for 6, as opposed to only hitting them for 3. Okay, Resto, Kiki Chord, I assume. Certainly the most likely candidate. Our life total is probably not going to end up mattering here. Okay. The good news for us is we can actually, by virtue of the milling plan, we can maybe, his chords become worse, stuff like that. I mean, this sort of deck sometimes has very specific things it needs. And that, chord is, sometimes he just doesn't have his target in there. And he didn't have a fast start. So, I mean, that means he's probably got good stuff later, but Wall of Roots, sure, that's not going to do anything to us. Ghost Quarter? Ghost Quarter is actually pretty relevant because they need so much particular red mana. And you, in theory, hit all their basics. They probably don't run a ton of basics. Get on this plan again. So I guess I'll just go ahead and fetch this up so we can Crypt Incursion if we need to. Don't really necessarily see that we will, but our opponent has 14 cards in his library, as it were. 2 chords there, and birds. Now what we don't have is yet a lot more gas, so we're just gonna have to try to get this Visions up to the full mode of 20, which we'll get. Unfortunately, we won't get by playing a land that'll only put 19 in his graveyard. So we actually really like him to fetch here, or just cast something that goes into his graveyard. Instead, it's another Wall of Roots. Okay, that sort of stuff doesn't bother me. I guess we can Ghost Quarter to get him up to 20. That's probably what we'll end up doing. Scoos. Well, there's certainly gas, I'll give you that. Plenty of gas. Oh, Scoos actually pretty good against Visions of Beyond, huh? Interesting, okay. Well, that's a nice draw, too. Alright, so what we're actually going to do here, this puts him up to 19. I'm just going to play the Mesmeric Orb. I'm not going to need to Ghost Quarter him here. Unless he has... I don't think we're dead next turn in any way, and can't really imagine what it would be. Although it's possible I guess it's possible we could, but I mean, Crypt Incursion's not going to stop Keepy combo anyways. Alright, so we'll pass. The double Mesmeric Orb should put him into range where we can Vision of Beyond. At the end of his turn. Maybe. So we're going to mill 6. It's possible we won't be able to get it, but we'll see. I mean, maybe it's just worth it to do it in his upkeep. I'll go ahead and set a stop on his upkeep in case. It may be worth it doing his upkeep. So if he does, want to like make a bunch of Scooz activations to be able to get it down below that number, he spends his entire turn doing it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, it's Nahiri. Oh, we've been so blown out. Oh my gosh. Oh, this is horrible. I can't say we expected it to be Nahiri. Well, that undoes quite a bit of work. Worst part is he's in 19 cards. Okay. That's rough. That was unexpected and pretty bad for us. All right. Well, now we know. I guess at least he's still milling some. This Scooz is very big. It's exiled just mana sources. Makes sense. Voice. It's mostly fine. So it's Nahiri Chord. So we're actually just in this problem where we're getting beat down. And we're gonna take some beats, that's for sure. Yeah, he gets to continue to eat it. I wonder if our deck would want Damnation in the sideboard. If you main deck the Surgicals, you don't need the extra piece, and you play the Damnations. It's possible. I mean, Damnation would be great against this board. Although double voice. So, okay. Well, fetch is good. We have 8 cards in our own graveyard. Okay. Gross. Okay, can't pay life. Kiki rest. Alright, so the problem here is I think we're gonna have to go for like this. Alright, I'm trying to think, because we can't Crypt Incursion on his turn when he attacks after our Mesmeric Orbs go off, which is what we'd like to do, because then he just gets a ton of things. We're dead on the swing. I mean, we can, I guess, play to chump block and not die, which is what we're probably going to end up having to do anyways. The issue is we can't cast any of this on his turn, and if he just has Path to Exile for our crab, we're dead. Or I guess maybe in theory we'd buy a turn. So I'm just going to vision now because I'm not going to be able to vision on his turn. I don't think we're going to get this thing up to 20 cards anytime soon. What I think is going to happen is he's going to activate, he's going to make some Scooz activations on his Instep. We're going to have to Crypt Incursion then just to gain some life, but we're only going to be able to get 2 targets. We could Ghost Quarter ourselves. That may be what we do. We could Ghost Quarter ourselves, which will give us an additional trigger. That's probably what we're going to have to do here. And I mean, we're having a Crypt Incursion to survive, so I don't really know what the plan to beat the Emrakul is. We were very blown out by that main deck Emrakul. And he didn't even go for it in the instep. Well, it's unexpected. I mean, we certainly ran that risk. Okay. I mean, we ran that risk, but I thought for sure he was going to use these to eat a couple creatures to make this thing bigger, but I guess he has lethal on board, so there's not a reason to. But we couldn't go for the Crypt Incursion ourselves. Yep, there's the path. We couldn't go for the Crypt Incursion just to do it because then he just eats them in response. So, okay. I guess we're not dead. We're not dead. He attacks. Well, I should have Ghost Quartered then, huh? Yeah, we're pretty dead. I guess maybe I should have Ghost Quartered myself in response to the path, so we maybe could have got the Emrakul in there. I just don't think we're going to be able to win here. Yeah, you get a bunch of tokens. I agree. We're going to have to rip Bridge off the top. So we're playing 2 here. Yep, I agree. Some big elementals, man. Good news is he tapped down for this Spellskite, which means he only gets to eat 3. But he didn't even mill many creatures, so we were probably just dead anyways. How many creatures are in there? 1, 2, 3. He just hit no creatures just for the rubbins, so we probably dead 11, 13. Are there 2? Now we're just dead. This was a silly game, to be honest. But, okay, that's modern. Yeah, I mean, we can't even game. We can actually, he's going to have a 10-10, hitting us for 14. He can actually just eat everything there is. We're just dead. There was nothing there. We hit 1. We die. Okay, well, let's sideboard and try not to have that sort of silly stuff happen again. We probably want these. He's going to have white mana. We're really supposed to win game 1. That's going to be the problem here. We can probably get rid of the scribes. I think there are worse by far. The question is, do we want ley lines or extirpates or either? I don't know that ley he's got eternal witnesses and stuff. Maybe we just poured in 2 of these. Is extirpate better than leyline? Probably against the combo deck. Sure. Let's see if we can get there on the long game. I think our mill deck's supposed to win game 1. It's interesting because Nahiri Emrakul is more of a thing in modern. Well, I mean, obviously it's new and it's a thing now, and this is coincidentally what was supposed to be the big Jeskai Nahiri tournament with all the Emrakuls was the day that the mill deck went 801. So definitely didn't expect Kiki Nahiri Chord, but I guess it makes sense. Apparently the new idea is to just jam it into every deck. I would like to play first. Yeah, this is a keep. Could be very good. Oh, still have a stop set in his upkeep. Don't need that. And he's got the mana dork. It's unfortunate. He did, however, search his library, so that's good. Not going to forget it this game. Okay, there's the Emrakul. We get to get it. Alright, so yeah, he kept in the pass. He's got a Pride Mage for one of the orbs, so that's unfortunate. However, he now has 4 Nahiris and no Emrakul to go with it, so that's good. Sure. I'm actually pretty glad we got this out of the way early. Obviously. It's pretty good for us. Alright, so no Emrakul. Okay. This is probably better, because obviously I'd like him to path me. As opposed to playing out the orb, getting it Pride Maged, and while that would take up his turn, we would not get pathed. And the path here, assume he does have to path this, still chews up his being optimal, since I guess he could play the Pride Mage and path us, but that gives us a land for our Mind Funeral. So we've certainly blown out our hand already, but we got rid of the Emrakul. That's the first big threat, and then we just sort of hope we go off with Mind Funeral and Orb here. Excuse me. Interesting. Okay, well. He's holding the path. I want to make him pop it so I can Mind Funeral. He's going to path in response so we don't hit him for 3, but that's fine because he gives us a land of Mind Funeral next turn. What do we hit here? Ooh, Glimpse is a good one. All right, so he has 4. Let's see how many we get with the funeral. Never lucky. It's not ideal. What do we get? 3, 5, 9 cards. That's pretty rough. I don't know what the average is for this card, but I would certainly hope to get more than 9. Yep, I see him. Okay, well, we're still not under any pressure, and we can, if we draw land, Glimpse, and Orb, or double Orb, depending on what he does with his turn, but we'll see. We still have a long way to go. Okay, that's a lot of Birds of Paradise. I really wonder about the Damnations in the sideboard. It might be a thing. I don't know. We'll just run this other Mind Funeral out. Most mana efficient thing to do. He's got 13 in this time. And we hit 7 this time. Okay. Alright, that is what it is. Rex Sage down. Kiki. Chord. We're just rest sowing. It's a slow beatdown plan. It's theoretically beatable. Kiki, we're dead? Chord Kiki, we're dead, right? Yep. Maybe he doesn't have any more Kiki-Jikis in his deck. He did. Honestly, feel like that was fairly unlucky matchup all around, but that's a game. We're dead.